When are the proposed rules that would change work permit eligibility for asylum seekers going to go into effect? If you haven't heard, DHS recently announced some changes they want to make. They're going to make it basically impossible for asylum seekers to get a work permit based on their pending asylum case. This would include both people that have recently applied for asylum and are now applying for a work permit based on that the first time, as well as people who've already gotten a work permit and are going to then at some point seek to renew that work permit, okay? Now, DHS made this announcement about the proposal recently, and there's what's called a 60-day comment period that ends on April 24th, 2026. And up until that time, the public is allowed to make comments and say, oh, I think this is a good idea, or I think it's a bad idea, or you should change this. Have you thought about that? And then after that, DHS is supposed to actually consider and respond to those comments. And normally for this kind of thing, it takes several months to do that, okay? And then after that, DHS is supposed to come back with a proposed final version of the rule, okay? And then from that time, it's not supposed to enter into effect or become effective for 60 days for most types of changes like this, but sometimes it's 30 days depending on sort of the categorization of the changes, okay? But all that is to say, it should be several months, okay? It's not so, it should be at least, I would say 4 to 8 months before these changes can come into effect. However, there's a chance that DHS might try to sort of speed it up and not do things the right way and not go through that whole process that they're supposed to go through. And they could try to ram it through and say, oh, they're effective immediately on April 24th or April 25th. If they did that, they would definitely get sued. And there's a pretty good chance that a court would step in and say, well, you can't do it that quickly. You got to go through the process, right? And there's also a chance that litigation could prevent this from ever coming into force, okay? We saw this a few years ago during Trump 1, the first Trump administration, where they tried to do basically the same thing, and that got blocked by the courts, but that was kind of on a technicality that's probably not going to be at issue here, okay? So we really don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what a court is going to say about the substance of these proposed changes. There's actually a pretty good chance that they will go through, okay? And what does that mean for you as an asylum seeker? You should apply now. If you want to get asylum and you want to get a work permit based on it, apply now. And hopefully you'll be able to reach that 180-day eligibility mark before these rules go into effect. They might get slowed down by process, they might get slowed down by litigation, so you might have time to apply now and get your work permit. If your work permit's coming up for renewal, apply as soon as you are eligible to renew it. Don't wait, do that right now. If you need help with an asylum case, please send me the word consult in a direct message.